That's really behind me. Wow, that's behind. Yeah, good morning, everybody. What's going on? Who all's here? Want to jump up on the panel? I know. Wow, that's weird for the wizard. But whatever. Fall prep. I've been showing you guys different things as I'm going through different stages. Um, and some of the stuff that you don't see is the prep work. What goes into the actual test beds, what goes into the actual garden, that kind of stuff. Yesterday being one of my cleanup days, because it's fall. You square your beds away. You kind of manipulate things back into the center and kind of clean up areas that kind of, well, I have Missy. She she will dig up anything. She decided when I was planting the garlic this year that she was going to crawl under me. And if you've ever seen a dog crawl, and then picture me down on my hands and knees in the bed straddling a ditch 3 inches deep, and she's crawling under me to get in there and steal the garlic so she can run off with it and chew on it. Cutest thing I've ever seen. I wish I'd have had my camera. But going back into the prep, I noticed people prefer to see what I'm actually into, like showing you the giant radishes and what have you. You're like, what is that? It's egg gardens. $78. Yep. 3 of these giant containers. Well, not giant. They're not 5-gallon buckets, but crushed eggshells to amp up the calcium. Now, obviously, some of you aren't going to be into this kind of stuff the way I am. My protein diet is I wouldn't expect anybody to keep up with it. I've been doing it since I was 19, though, so it's my body's adapted to it. It's just different. That goes. I should create a completely different channel for that stuff because it's different. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different. Your health is your choice. For me to sit and say, this is what you need to do, I don't know the demands of your body. Only you do. All I can advise is, how to best prep your garden and give you the best food possible. Um, if we get the book going, and again, if it'll take off. The Green Lizard's Guide's got a lot to deliver. Doesn't have everything in it though. That kind of bugs me. Um, because I couldn't get the copyright. I couldn't get the authorization for Bloomin' Minerals prior to launching the book. Some detail didn't get into the book. It's offered here on the website. It's offered here on YouTube so that you can update the book. But I feel like if I can get out from under the book, which is that initial 30,000 that I need to sell. If I can get out from under the book, get that paid, I'll release a second book. Um, I know some of you are sitting here going, "Oh no, not another book. We got to buy that one too." Well, there's an overall cost. If I release a second book to the public, that doesn't necessarily mean that price is your price if you've already bought a book. I guess what I'm saying is, and I'm not going to leave this one up. So this is just you and I, just us talking. If you have a copy of the initial book and I release the second updated book, hey, good morning. Um, and you can show me you have a copy of the first book, I'll ship you the second edition of the first book with the updates in it at cost. Cost of shipping, cost of printing. I'll make nothing on the deal, but it'll get you the second book with the correct information in it, is what I'm thinking. Um, I don't expect anybody to be like Rooster, who actually shipped more money than what I had asked for a signed copy. Um, Greatly appreciated, but when it comes to a second edition, to just update the information. Now, you can do the information yourself. You can add it in yourself. That's your call. Yeah, I know, hippie, you're probably sitting there going, "What the hell? All that stuff behind you." I'll go back into that in a second. I'm just rambling this morning, dear. Um, Nobody else is on, so I figured, hey, why not just come in here and ramble to myself? Because they're coming to take me away anyways, right? So might as well just talk to myself until they get here. Anyways, um, so yeah, if I do a second edition to the first book, I'll do what it cost. To those of you that already have the first book, or you just write in the updates yourself. That's what the blank pages are for. Got to make sure I stay with them too. Hey, good morning, Ann. How are you, sweet ladies, doing this morning? Anyhow, yeah, this stuff behind me, when you're used to just seeing the boxes, I know this will probably make a couple of you ill. I get that. Ooh. Well, at least you're out at a bed and breakfast. That's got to kind of be fun. Kind of. I thought about that. Yeah, if circumstances were different, let's go there. If circumstances were different and we had the farm already, and I know that to some of you that's a new concept. The idea for my third book, second book, whatever you want to call it, is to go southern Ohio, down near Bobby, um, or out into Texas, where it seems like I'm being pulled to for whatever reason. It just weird, and proves the concept of sit. I don't remember the terra preta. It's a Mexican word. It's the absolute garden where you don't need to ever add anything, and the soil is so rich that it abundantly seems to grow by itself because all the amendments are already in the soil ahead of you planting your garden. It takes a little bit of prep work, and not a lot of people are going to do that. I get that. But if I can show it, regardless of that, we're thinking kind of along the lines of a bed and breakfast, but individual cabins across the farm that you guys could come visit, see what I'm into. Hey, good morning, Chris. How you doing, dear? That you guys could come and visit, have a main restaurant or a main eating pavilion, have a professional chef there making breakfast, lunch, dinner, or breakfast, dinner, whatever, whatever. Just one of the many concepts of what to do on the Green Wizards property. Um, we'll get there. We'll get there. And like Jerry says, our Jerry's woodworking, ladies, once you get there, don't drink my Kool-Aid. Because if you get goofy like me on your own property, you're going to have a lot of work to do, and you don't want to do that much work. See, people have that concept. Where was I? I was on a channel yesterday, and they dragged me into talking about the book a little bit. And Jerry was there. People have to understand the concept. When I say I've cut my grass 42 times this year, I'm I'm causing a weed deficiency. I'm causing a root growth situation. How did I explain this the other day? I was talking to a neighbor because they were kind of blown away, and they've been away for the whole season, the whole summer. So I was taking care of the yard, and their weed situation without their chemical usage went away, and they didn't understand what had happened. So they had a lot of questions. Not only am I telling them, look, you need to read the book to understand what I did, but grass and understand the association next to your garden has to be maintained the same way as your garden so that the food web can do what it does. But going right back to grass real quick, and then I'll explain what's behind me. When you're dealing with grass, it's always growing throughout the summer. Anything over 52 degrees, grass grows. Okay. You can't stop it. Whether it is the green part above the soil growing or the opposite, the roots growing, it's always growing. If you constantly are keeping the top, like golf courses are constantly cutting grass, you see them every morning, they're out there cutting the same spot. They're causing deeper root growth. So my excessive cutting to everybody else would be only cut once a week. So it would have been 21 times. Once a week, you cut your grass. I want deeper root growth. So I'm forcing, by cutting more, I'm causing deeper root growth. It's not. People have this misconception with grass and its functions and how it goes through its grass. Can be young, it can be old, it can be new, it can be. Grass is a really neat creature. You can have 10-year-old a 10-year-old yard of all new grass and never planted any seeds by just keeping it cut short and keeping on top of it. When you allow grass to go to seed, think of it this way: you've allowed the grass to go to adult. That's the end of it. Once grass, the little individual piece goes to seed, its next step is dead. So you never want your grass to go to seed or go to adulthood. It stops it from growing. The deepest. That's a seasonal thing. Don't. That's also explained in the book. When you come out of winter, you want to get rid of the thatch. You want to get rid of certain things. You want to add seed. You want to add miscellaneous. So you cut it shorter. And then throughout the summer, you go a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. And then as you go, just before fall, end of summer, before fall, you do your final deep cut. And then you build the thatch layer back up again. That's that's a whole seasonal thing. That's what us grass nuts. Because I'm more grass than I am garden. It's a different concept. Um, but you're right. You're right. Your first good cut of the year should be a short cut and get everything up. Throw it away or compost it. But uh, thanks, Kristen. I need my meds. I don't do meds. Anyways, this my fall prep. These are egg cartons. 78 78 dozen eggs. It's the calcium buildup for my test bed and for my regular garden, which I'm doing something different in my regular garden this next year. It's already planted. Um, Garlic has 3 seasons of its life, but garlic is a clone. How do I explain this to you guys? The garlic that you get at the grocery store, the garlic that is readily available at restaurants and what have you, that's its 3rd year. You can clone 2nd year, 1st year, or 3rd year forever. Okay. When you do what I'm doing, I'm going for a very specific strain of garlic that you won't be able to find anywhere else. You can mimic it in your own yard. Don't misunderstand. And do exactly what I'm doing and get exactly the same flavors out. But it's very specific to your yard even compared to your neighbor's yard. They're going to be two completely different things. Um, anyhow, what I did in the test bed was go for second year garlic. Second year garlic is a round ball. It's not the cloves that you guys are used to or that you guys have all seen. This is a very specific round ball. It should, if allowed to do its thing. Hey, good morning, Miss Linda. If allowed to do its thing, that ball will then the following year turn into a clove. Most people that get their gardens going and follow my system or go the way I advise to go, you're not going to see ball garlic. You're going to see nothing but cloves. Because if you're planting a clove, it's going to clone itself and become another clove. And this misconception, first thing everybody's going to do as soon as they get their hands on garlic is they're going to go research garlic. There's no point. Because what they're going to tell you when you get into this is each one of the individual cloves have to be planted point up 6 inches apart from each other. That's not true. I've proven that time and time again. That's not true. Garlic does not have to be planted 6 inches apart from each other. The reason that they say that is because they're hiding the adverse bad soil from all of you. They don't want you to understand that the soil is so bad that if you plant it all next to each other, it's all going to be deformed. Within the first 2 weeks of following my system, the soil changes and those conditions no longer exist. So the idea that you have to research garlic to figure out how to do this is a misnomer. It's just incorrect. You don't. Once the soil conditions start to correct themselves and get better, everything switches around. Good morning, Mama Rinda. Everything changes instantly. The worms come back, the food web kicks in, everything changes, everything gets better, everything completely switches. So I'm changing my regular garden over to test round garlic or ball garlic to watch to see how giant these things become in my living bed and not my test bed. The test bed has got the ideal conditions. I mean, everything is just where it should be. Only gets morning sun, midday sun, then it's done. Then it goes into shading, uh, which allows it to relax more. It it's a test bed. It's very specific for a reason. Um, and having you guys follow along with that and do all of that and try and duplicate what I'm doing. Don't. Um, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It is Mama Rinda's first wedding anniversary. 6 more years to go, and you're done with the honeymoon. Whole different world. I'm whole different world. It's a theory our minister and our preacher had given to us, and it was weird because we went on our honeymoon, and somebody at the honeymoon said exactly the same thing. Your first 7 years of marriage are the honeymoon. That's the honeymoon years. Then you get into the reality because like wrong channel, wrong channel. Anyways, 78 dozen eggshells, all hand ground down to a powder. Took me hours last night, hours and hours and hours. Um, I let them air dry. This is 2 years worth. I let them all air dry. Um, I don't microwave them. I don't sun dry them. They air dry. That's it. Um, and they sit for 2 years. I don't. It's just when I do the cycle. And I've always got eggshells around. I used my last eggshells the beginning of the season from 2 years ago. Now I'm into this group. Um, the test bed got its dose last night. The regular garden got its dose last night. And I still have more left over. All of this in your situation, were you to start growing a garden, this is one of the keys to protect all of your tomatoes. You need calcium, a lot of calcium. Our water conditions, our rain conditions are so sporadic. And tomatoes, which is why I love testing tomatoes, tomatoes are the most forgiving, yet they're the most revealing. They will tell you what's going on with your soil in a day. You can watch leaf curl is one of the big ones. If you want to follow through and go research the different terms, leaf curl, tomato and rot, tomato split. All of these are conditions of lack of nitrogen, lack of this, lack of that. Calcium is a big one, especially with tomatoes. I don't care what breed of tomato you're talking about. Tomatoes are one of the ones that will, the day after a rainstorm, they'll all split open if there's not enough calcium in the soil. It just is what it is. Calcium is one of those things that allows that skin to stretch just because it got a rain. Without it, it splits and you lose your tomato crop. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I hear you, Renda. Last day. Surprised you guys aren't having a huge party today. Flippy Bot, that's a new one. Since I don't take this channel into any of the gaming rooms or into any of the coin rooms, interesting. Oh, cool. Yeah, big party tonight, I bet. You should live stream that. A lot of us would like to, I know lighting is weird around a campfire though, so it kind of screws up cell phones and cameras. So that, but up until the dark, yeah, we'd love to see that. God, I'd love to have a nice campfire right now. The weather's perfect for it. You're in charge of the fireballs. Mama Renda's not driving home tonight. Because Mama Renda, you got to test every batch. You can't just hand them out thinking that every batch is okay. You got to test it. I get it. So yeah, no driving home. Anyhow, eggshells. You guys like to see that stuff. Crap your gardens. By putting them in the fall, this is what I find. By putting the eggshells into the soil or onto the soil amongst your grass clippings, your hay, your leaves, your cover, or your, like I like to call it, your blanket, your garden blanket. When you put eggshells in there, the rain, the snow, the conditions, the worms coming up through and what have you, especially when your shells are dried out nicely, the worms come up and feast. They come after the calcium. And you know, the way most worms, let's say 98% of the worms, as they go forward, they leave a trail behind of excellence. We'll just call it that. Um, um, so the more things that you abundantly put in your soil that the worms are going to run into, the greater your soil conditions become for whatever you want to plant. By putting the eggshells in now versus directly underneath your plants, which you can do. You can take the eggshells and put them directly underneath your tomatoes, your peppers, your whatever. All the plants, all of them need calcium. It's one of the big ones that people seem to forget. Calcium is key to the strength of the plant, the bonding in the cells, just like your skin and its elasticity. Calcium is extremely important when it comes to plants. So the more you put in, you can't put in too much. Let's go there. You can't put in too much calcium, the right kind of calcium. You don't want the calcium from cement. Two different types of calcium. Okay. Um, so yeah, store all your eggshells, all of them. Don't ever throw them away. And grind them up into a nice fine powder for every fall. And lay it out in your flower beds, lay it out in your garden, lay it out in your yard, and strengthen your grass. The weeds will absorb it, yes, but if your grass is thick enough, which is why I cut so much, if your grass is thick enough and the root base is thick enough, your weeds aren't going to get a chance to come up. There's going to be too much grass. The blanket, both the green stopping the sunlight and the amount of roots coming from your grass are going to be so thick, weeds can't come up. They just can't. Plus, you add the other stuff from the book, and you kill off the weed seeds. So it's catch 22. You get them both ways. Um, but yeah, eggshells, 78 dozen, hand ground, hand dried, no sunlight, no microwaving, no oven, no. I mean, some people really over process. Really, really, they turn crushing up eggshells into this huge ordeal. It's not needed. They will dry out. And a lot of people say, well, yeah, but what about the smell? There's no smell. Honestly, you just let the inner film that is in the eggshell, that's the part that everybody's trying to avoid, that inner membrane, to dehydrate. Once it dehydrates, it's done. Now, you can do that in a refrigerator. Leave your old eggshells in the refrigerator for a week. Your refrigerator is a natural dehydrator. It's going to pull that moisture out of there as it's trying to vacuum everything out and oh, hey, it's going. So yeah, eggshells, eggshells, eggshells. The more calcium, especially in your flower beds and your gardens, the better. I am sure just by watching the absorption rate in the soil, I am sure that eggshells around trees are great for the trees just because of how much disappears. And I know that's the worms coming up and ingesting them, and that's the this, and that's the grass, and I mean, there's all sorts of other conditions that are involved in this. But for as many 78 dozen, as many eggshells as I go through here, trust me, every plant is absorbing calcium. They all need calcium. So don't throw that cheap, abundant resource away. Don't throw your eggshells away. One of the things we used to do and advise people to do in apartment complexes, they all had garbage disposals. And I used to tell them, look, take your eggshell or take an egg once a month. Freeze an egg. I know you're all sitting there going, uh-oh. Freeze the egg, put it in your garbage disposal, frozen, and turn that garbage disposal on. When the egg shatters, it scrapes all around the inside of your garbage disposal. It scrapes the blades. It scrapes away as it's powdering, as it's turning into a fine mist. It's very sharp at the beginning, and it will clean your garbage disposal. So will ice. The combination of the two, I get the best results. We would go into an apartment where they hadn't done anything, garbage disposal's jammed. I get in there with a wrench, free the thing up, throw a frozen egg in there. In circumstances where I've had the ability, I pull the garbage disposal after the fact, and the garbage disposal blades are clean, sharpened. The inner auger area is all scratched and all cleaned up prior to the new resident moving in. Now, I would pull those just to clean out the pipes and do some other stuff preventatively ahead of a new resident. But yeah, eggshells, great for a garbage disposal to keep those blades clean. Um, they're a little hard to get flushed out, so don't overdo eggshells. You don't want calcium buildup sitting in your pipes running from, say, your kitchen down into your basement if you have one, or under your house, depending on circumstances. You don't want a bunch of eggshells just sitting in there for months on end. They will harden. They will and actually close up your pipes. So be careful. The trick to that is bleach. If you leave bleach sit in pipes long enough, it will liquefy everything out. Soap, hair, everything, and blow the. But that's again totally different channel. I don't even do that channel. But yeah, eggshells, huge, tremendous, important, must have. I don't care if it's just a flower bed you maintain in your yard. Um, hey brother, good morning to you. Uh, how's things in? Wait, you were on. You were traveling. You went somewhere. You weren't in Florida. Damn it! Everybody's traveling right now. It's really weird. Um, well, you went somewhere. You went somewhere, Noodles. I don't remember where, but obviously, are you home? Did you get back safe? I mean, that's obviously your important stuff. No car problems, no this, that, or the other. Had a good time. Hmm. Speaking of travel, Mama Renda and Sherry K up there in, I want to say Maine. I don't know why, but I really want to see the soil conditions over there. I'm going to come check that out. There's some interesting things going on over there. I understand Texas. I know what's going on in Texas, but I want to see Maine because they have some really weird off gassing stuff going on in Maine that a lot of houses have to have this ventilation thing built in. And I'm wondering, it's just a curiosity, but yes, I have. And I know she said she was going to be coming back on live streaming. What's the best way to say it? Her daughter's not bouncing back as quickly as they would like. She's bouncing back. Don't misunderstand that. I'm not, but it's going a different way. Hey UFO, what's going on, buddy? Um, so not negative, Linda. Nothing negative, just a slower recovery. Yeah, better way to say it. Slower recovery than normal. So she was not able to fulfill what she had said with coming back on last week before last. But yes, I have been in touch with her. I have talked to her. She's doing just fine. Just a little bit slower stuff going on over there, but everything's fine. um, yeah, thanks for asking. I'll mention that. I'll mention that to her. I don't talk to her as much as I would like to because I really would love to sit down with her in at her farm. I wish she wasn't selling it. I really do. I'd love to just sit down with her for a week and pick that lady's brain. And there's so many topics I would love to go over with her. Um, and all of you, I mean, don't misunderstand. All of you have things that I would love to know. Um, that's like, I have an idea for a different book. Surprise, surprise, right? YouTubers have a different way of life than most people. And I'm not saying that in a negative connotation. It's just that we spend so much time supporting each other that we kind of miss TV. We kind of miss life. We kind of, even though we're up to speed on what's really going on everywhere out there, YouTubers are a different group of people. What's your individual, and everybody's different, what's your individual go to meal? I mean, I guess if I were to say, okay, we're going to leave this stream up, um, write in the comments below, you as a YouTuber, what's your go to meal between watching videos and supporting other channels? And just put together a cookbook of 360 recipes that are the quick YouTuber fallback meals. Box Kraft macaroni and cheese, eggs and bacon. What's your go-to on a daily basis? If you're just busy and you need something to eat, is it raid the refrigerator? Is it something specific that you cook? Is it, because we're all different. We all head about this a different way. We all look at our dietary nutritional needs in a different way. So yeah, brother, I hear you. I'm thinking I need to go get a refill right now. My cup's empty. Um, but yeah, and I'm referring here towards Elegant Homestead. This lady, you know, she's had her family and raised kids and is still attempting to, and I'm saying this because she'll probably watch this and I'll hear about it later, but and she's still raising her husband. And well, you all know about the shirt. So um I would just love to sit down and pick her brain from her college years until now as to what her go-to meals were, what her, you know, hot summer day, kids on the fly, kids out doing whatever, they're all going to pop up for dinner. What was her go-to? Um, oh, really? Well, that's interesting, Linda. See, I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have known that. Um, there's a whole nother category that could be written down. Here's an idea for any one of you to run with. We've all seen how popular those couponing TV shows are. These couponers that go out and save a bloody fortune and spend pennies on the dollar and have these huge hauls. When you're planning your weekly grocery shopping, do you think on a 5-day, 6-day, 7-day meal plan? Do you do all of your shopping based on that, plus the essentials that are needed around the house? Toothpaste, toilet paper, cleaning materials, what have you. Is that all part of the budget? Is that all? Do people even budget anymore? Um, because of my situation, it's where we were a 2-income household. It's now not, because I was working 2 jobs. I was doing I'm not that way anymore. It's now it's a daily struggle now. Thank God I had invested. I had bought into, I'm not going to say the name of the company because they're not a sponsor. So I had bought into pre-prepared meals, the 25-year storage life meals. Wonderful. Oh my God, wonderful. Yeah, there's some stuff there that I wouldn't feed my dogs. Don't misunderstand. But the idea that you've spent pennies on food that's going to be there for 25 years and just a few cups of water, and you have a fully prepared meal that meets all your dietary needs. Phenomenal. Oh my God. It has saved me this year. Oh my God, has it saved me? Um, and I will definitely be doing more. Um, Tremendous. See, and that's another one. Especially like with the farmers, and I'm talking to 2 or 3 of them right now that you know throughout the summer they have the poultry, they have the ham, they have the cows, they have the gardens that are coming up and what have you. I think this is where we got a lot of our food storage ideas and a lot of our um, you can't think of the name of it. It's in the ground. Um, we don't even use them anymore, which I don't understand. Um, Regardless, what do they do in the winter? What do farmers do? Do they rely on grocery stores? Are they self-reliant in a different way? Uh, well, regrowing is huge, huge. Um, I hadn't planned on going here. This is a completely different video. Every grow zone, every grow zone is going to treat, including your soil, is going to treat each individual plant differently. And where we have come up with these labels for seeds, and everybody says buy heirloom seeds, buy heirloom seeds, wait, heirloom seeds for Florida and that grow zone are going to be completely different than, say, New Jersey or Oregon, okay, or the state of Washington. These are all completely different grow conditions. Try everything, but what does the best in your soil, in your zone, those are the ones you want to keep the seeds. Those are your heirloom seeds for your grow zone, very specific. Now, granted, Down below, I've given the link in the description to get one of the best, if not to say the best, soil amendment to shortcut having to do all the calcium, having to do all of the prep work that I do to my beds in an all organic way. Not everybody's as crazy about soil conditions as I am. It's hard for me to back that off and keep that in mind that what everybody else needs and the way I do things are completely different, and I don't expect anybody. I'm trying to give everybody the shortcuts to make it easier. The best abundant resource of supplements, and I'm summarizing supplements for your garden, is Bloomin' Minerals. These minerals are from plants that prehistorically existed, and all of the minerals, because of the way this broke down, because of the way this stored, because of the way it didn't go through a composting phase, the minerals are so abundant in this resource that a dose every 3 years would be more than your yard will ever need. That's what when I talk about cost savings. When you use Bloomin' Minerals, that's a once every 3, maybe even every 4 year treatment that you do to your garden, that you do to your yard, to give you the most abundant of everything possible. Granted, the seeds, the individual seeds, tomatoes, love them. And planting them and going through a different process there, all of it, because I haven't given you the recipe for Terra Preta. I have to keep in mind, what can I give you? What can I recommend to you that is going to give you the best possible results this year, right now, without having to go through all the steps I go through? And my recommendation would be, once every 3 years, put Bloomin' Minerals into your yard, into your garden, and watch them flourish, because you're abundantly giving it everything it needs and then some, because they didn't go through a composting phase. Back that up, give you the correct information that goes with that. Think about it like this. When you compost, you are amping up a nitrogen level and a food web level that makes your garden pop. High nitrogen, high abundantly available minerals, but they've lost something because they went through let's call it a digestive phase, whether it be the food web, the pre-existing plant that it came from, whatever the situation, there's going to be a loss. When you compost, you're upping your nitrogen, but you're losing amendments. Some things aren't going to be available coming from compost that your plants need. Now, yeah, it's probably in your yard, but the clayification situation that we're all contending with is going to limit how far out the food web can reach. So if you apply Blooming Minerals, again, link below, if you apply Blooming Minerals, you shortcut that. You save yourself all that extra work. Some people can't compost. Some people can't this, can't that, can't the other. City ordinances, da 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 da. Again, totally different topic. Totally. The best shortcut possible is to get the Bloomin' Minerals. They're a non-composted stuck in time, prehistoric batch of 77 minerals readily available to your plants because they're pre-existing plants that did not compost. That's key. You can't get that from azomite. You can't get that from Gaia. Okay? You can only get it from Bloomin' Minerals. So if you're looking for shortcuts and you're looking for ways, Bloomin' Minerals. Well, and the link below is my link because I'm a member of that company. So it kicks back on me anyhow. So if you just grab that link after the fact, after this, I'll leave this run for a day or two. I won't kick this into private. Other reasons, but yeah, Bloomin' Minerals. If you want shortcuts, and again, a lot of you guys weren't here before. Yes, I am thinking about the second edition of book one to put the information in that I didn't have authorization to put in, didn't have copyright legal BS to put in the book when this one released in February. If you have the first edition, the Green Wizard's Guide, and you can show me that, I'll get you the second edition with everything in added back into the book at cost. But I'm not going to make that available to everybody, just you guys. If you caught the video, you'll know. If you didn't catch the video, you'll lose out. You've got to pay full price. Because I mean, really, it's all about us having each other's backs and taking care of each other. You know, I get 30 views, 35 views on a video loaded with information, if that. So it's not like I'm going to lose big time releasing a second book and giving 10 of you or 15 of you at cost. That just, I mean, why would you pay for a second book that's got exactly the same information in it? That'd be silly, don't you think? Hippie chick, if you want to be impressed, go look at my radish test. That's impressive. They're not supposed to do that. Radishes aren't supposed to get that big. Well, yeah, that's just like my thumbs up, my thumbs down video. I wanted to test the theory. I had 30 views, 37 views. And all I asked for in that whole video, other than, reminding people of Jerry's contest, all I asked for was thumbs down. That's all I wanted. It was a 2-minute, almost 3-minute video. I got 11 thumbs down because people don't listen or they don't do, they're not interactive, you know. And that's a YouTube failure on some of our parts. I'm just as guilty. Don't misunderstand. I am just as guilty. A lot of us get that bell unrung, or we even lose the friendship button thing. The word we're not supposed to talk about. They lose that because they don't leave comments. The algorithm times them out. If you haven't left a comment within a month, the algorithm kicks in and causes problems. And yeah, I honestly believe that people are checking. I honestly believe YouTube is checking to see if comments being left behind on videos have anything to do with the actual content of the video. I think it happens at random because I don't think they have time to do everybody. But I've watched for too many years. You guys got to remember, I've been in here 6 years, working as a moderator. 5 years, 6 years working as a moderator on a lot of channels. And I've watched this algorithm grow and learn and change what it's doing in some really weird ways. Some things don't add up. Some things I look at and I watch and I go, wait a minute, something's not right here. They got something else in mind because this shouldn't have happened yet. Because I'm an old coder. Um, I helped beta test Windows 95. I was part of the beta test team. I went through that code back then, 1993, 94. We were working on that project. Um, so this bot in this code, um, you recognize things. You recognize how things pop up. Um, I get you. I get you, hippie. I get it. Um, it's they get a lower rate on their insurance running that business if it's a non-smoking facility. It's BS, but and then to have an operating license, they have to not allow smoking and da 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 da. Too much government, too much interference. Anyhow, I get it. I get it. So yeah, I'm not worried. If I put out a second edition and you guys all have a copy of the first edition, the Green Wizard's Guide, available on Amazon. Da, 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 da. And you can show it to me, what have you. I'll get you the second edition of the Green Wizard's Guide, with all the correct information added to it, plus new blank pages. So instead of it being 114, we're going to be 128 pages, I believe. I think that's what the number worked out to. I got to go back and double check it. But um, the second edition is going to be bigger, obviously, with added information and some new stuff I couldn't put in because of the copyright. Um, but that's not going to happen if I can't get the first 30,000 out and get the bills paid. Um, okay. For those of you here in the channel right now, and I know I'm not supposed to talk about it, you all know who Jerry is. He has a hidden second contest. Okay. I got to watch what I say here. I don't want to blow the lid off this. Uh, he has announced the first contest. He has a two striker rods, the big one and the little one. He has a Leatherman multi-tool, and he has one of my books in the first contest. That's the big one. That's the one where you got to go in and sign in and do a VR shout out about his contest. You got to be a member of his channel, blah, 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 blah. What he didn't announce is that there's a second contest. There's a runner-up contest. It is for this is the second runner-up contest winner. It comes with the little striker and my book. The video he just released this week, as in 2 days ago. And the Green Wizard commented on it, so you'll know. And I listed the book address, so you'll know you're in the right place. Watch that video until the end. And he gives the instructions how to be a winner in the runner-up contest. It's basically a second contest buried underneath the first contest. And there's a free book there. So he's giving away 2 books, everybody. He's not giving away just one. And he sweetened the deal by adding, and he still has not made. So you're going to get a fresh made, brand new Striker short ferrule rod. I know that sounds, let me. This is Dragon's Breath. In my opinion, this is Dragon's Breath. This thing throws sparks like you would not believe. This is the big daddy. This has got the glow rod in it, everything else. When we are talking about the short rod, he has a couple of them that are only this long. He doesn't have handles made up for him yet. So you're getting new by getting in on the second contest. But again, that one's not being talked about. That one's hidden. That's a hidden contest nobody else knows about. But you got to watch to the end of the video to catch it. Hey, good morning, Grizz. So yeah, for those of you in the know, this is why it's so important to watch videos all the way through. Because even though the video starts out on one topic, it stops at 10 minutes, but the video keeps going because there's a second contest. There's a runner-up contest on Jerry's video. Jerry and I talked about it, and I shipped him another book so that he could run a second contest. So yeah, Grizz, like my collection, 78 dozen eggshells for my test bed in my garden this year. 3 of these fully loaded with hand crushed, hand dried, not sun dried, hand dried, allowed to sit eggshells. You want to talk about building up the calcium levels in my soil? Oh yeah, buddy. I'm the dirt guy. I'm the dirt guy. All right, I'm going to go get some more coffee. I'll be right back up. Grizz, if you want to jump up and join me today, I'll put up a link. And that, again, that's open to all of you that have wrenches. Always welcome to come up. And I'm going to fire up my theme song, and I'm going to go get coffee, and I'll be right back. Yep. Alrighty, let me go find it. Hold on, Grizz. I think that's it. It looks like it got shorter, buddy. Uh, all right, there's the link. Then I'm going to come back over here and take it back down. All righty. So you guys got any questions? I know I usually just get on here and I just start rambling and I just start talking and we just start going. And I usually don't bounce off and head any other directions. I know my last important video was the photo remediation. Nod your head, Chris. Gotcha. Good morning, buddy.
Morning, Ron. Still trying to get everything set up here.
Yeah, you do you. Yeah, that photo remediation. You guys, if you haven't had a chance to watch the video, skip about halfway through and then start watching. I know it was a little long-winded. And get the plants to clean your soils and stick those in your gardens, because you just don't know what's in the soil, and you might as well get the toxic stuff out now and use the plants to do it. Why would you try and get it all out yourself when the plants will take care of it for you? You just throw the plants away.
Those guys, they're not pasteurized, are they?
What?
The eggshells?
Yeah, they are.
They're pasteurized?
Yeah, I can't buy non-pasteurized eggs
Oh, okay.
because of where I'm at. Oh, I wish I could get the other ones. Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, in our compost pile, we put all of our eggshells on in there to get the calcium in there to be used.
oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm about the shortcuts. That's
But
the only.
you're putting spray paint in your garden, though, by doing that.
Well, that's why I also grow the other plants in there to remove that stuff. That's why photo remediation is so important, because you really don't know, and I say that in the photo remediation video. You really don't know what's coming out of your compost pile. You don't know. These are things you buy someplace else. You don't know what's truly in there. You don't know what truly is in amendments. Just because the store says, hey, this is all organic. Is it? Is it really?
Yeah.
So you want to grow certain plants uh, that are going to naturally pull those heavy metals and those potential toxins and what have you right out of the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Photo remediation is huge when it comes to prepping a garden of unknown sources. If you're starting a brand new garden, especially, run your photo remediation plants, that whole gambit, and throw it all away, because it's going to pull those heavy metals. It's going to pull those toxins. See, like TNT, for example, they've buried a lot of TNT. Hey, Junkyard, throughout. And there are certain plants that they use that break those things down. What they do is they absorb it and stop it, whether it stops in the roots, whether it stops in the stalk of the plant, whether it stops in the leaves. It actually stops, takes away the toxicity, and stops it from being one chemical and turns it into another. Photo remediation is tremendous when it comes to a brand new garden. And then there's the other aspect. People, they're stuck on city water. What's in city water? Anybody really tested that stuff? Oh my God. You need to get those toxins out of your soil. Photo remediation handles all of that for you. You don't, I mean, if you're working hard at your garden, you're doing it wrong. That's the easiest way I can say it.
Yeah.
Nature will handle it for you.
By the way, on the inside, instead of that copy and bite link that you use down below,
Yeah.
You can just remember how Google on Google Hangouts we just copied the search bar up there.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing in this here. I just copy and pasted StreamYard. I'll remove that. I was just showing you that for example. But you can post it. Just copy that link. You don't have to go down there, copy link, from down below. You can use just like you always did in Google Hangouts.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I could, except that all of that isn't on this computer. That's all over on my phone. The way you and I communicate and some of the other stuff that I do,
No,
that's
no,
on
but
different.
you're on your
This
computer right
computer
now. You
itself
have a
doesn't
mouse,
have the
right?
ability.
You
I'm
don't have a
sorry?
mouse. You don't have a mouse right now.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to have a mouse to be able to copy and paste. Morning, hippie.
Yeah, this doesn't. This computer doesn't have a lot of stuff in it.
I can't believe you don't have a mouse for that computer.
Nope.
Uh,
Uh,
oh man. Yeah, we've been making tons of apple cider or apple juice or whatever you want. Apple juice and applesauce.
oh, I was going to ask you how many bushels of apples you had to do all that, so I could have a general idea as to how much you were working.
Well, we got about 2 boxes, equivalent to 2 boxes. The big cardboard boxes. I don't know how much a bushel is. But I mean, it's a cardboard box is about 2 foot long, 16, 18 inches wide, about a foot deep.
Okay. Um, Sorry, I got confused by this question. Hippie, what do you mean? You're saying how do you explain no gray hair to an innkeeper? Uh, uh, you lost me. uh, Gray hair is just a copper deficiency with lack of selenium. If they've got excessive amounts of gray hair at any age, it's a copper deficiency.
Well, I
And
must
but it's
have my
dietary
system,
copper.
man.
It's not copper pipes. It's not. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That does not mean go suck on pennies. No, 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 no. You have gray hair. Don't. It's the solution's not suck on pennies. No, no, no.
Oh,
Oh yeah, junkyard. Absolutely not. No, that's why you need because of the chlorine. We dealt a lot of with this with our pools. Chlorine will naturally air off over time. So you can take like a 5 gallon paint bucket, fill that with water. If you give it 24 hours and then apply that to your soil, never apply it to the plants, but apply it to the soil, it won't have the chlorine concentration in it. So you won't be toxifying the soil with chlorine. You have to in essence let city water stand for 24 hours before you apply it to your garden. That's just a shortcut, but it's the only way to get away from a lot of the chemicals that are there. Um, yeah, the stuff that they're doing to us now is just frightening, absolutely frightening. But again, you can protect your garden by growing certain plants and throwing the plants away. Let them go through fruition, let them go to seed and do their entire process, but throw all of that stuff away. Don't let it germinate and come back the second year. Get it out of your garden because you're throwing all those toxins away. You're getting that stuff out of the soil. A lot of us are suffering from, heavy metal poisoning in a sense, and there's nothing you can do because you're eating the plants out of your own garden. As much as I preach, that's the best stuff to eat. The problem is a lot of those plants that we love actually absorb those heavy metals out of the soil. That's where we're getting it from. If you throw those things away, they clean the soil and the soils can recover and get healthy again. A lot of plants that I covered in that group will actually lock and suspend some of the heavy metal toxins like mercury in the soil so it becomes null and void. It can't affect you unless you were eating the soil directly and getting the mercury. It the plant actually exudes a film, we'll call it, that that gets around mercury and suspends it in the soil and locks it up so it can't be absorbed by any other plant. But these are the only groups of plants that do that. But you got to watch the entire video to catch all that information. That's a book 3 topic. That I mean, I was covering it because a lot of people are dealing with these situations right now. Flint, Michigan, for example, they're stuck with this huge problem in all their soils and all their groundwater and what have you, and they're suffering. They don't know what to do to get their gardens back. Well, there's ways to get the gardens back. Grow your sunflowers every year, throw them away. They absorb a lot of the heavy metal toxins that get into the soil. Oh yeah, absolutely. Some of us have, we're lucky. We live in grow zones like Grizz here that they don't see snow. They see colder temperatures, but they don't see snow. They've got a much longer growing season, a much earlier growing season than I do here in Cleveland. So, every place is different. There's no one answer for everything. There's a general understanding. That's what the Green Wizard's Guide's about, is having the general understanding of the food web and how the soil is, not the actual grow zones. It has nothing to do with that. But all the information that's in the Green Wizard's Guide applies to all grow zones. That's the difference. Good morning, Tim. Well, yeah, Tim, absolutely. Hey, a little bit of rust won't hurt anybody. A little bit. Uh, so what's today's plans, Mr. Grizz? Any ideas?
Yeah, about a half hour. I'm heading out the door.
Uh-oh.
Want to go kill Bambi?
Oh, yeah, good day for that. What's your temperatures right now?
It's I'm going to say it's about 45.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, nice cool weather for it. It was raining most of the night last night, so that should have the deer moving around good.
Oh, yeah, they should be bedded down nice near their food stands. Absolutely. You can't pre-feed, can you, to bring them into a certain area?
Pardon?
Some states you can't put food feeders out to bring deer in.
Yeah, we can put food feeders on out to bring deer in. We can't hunt over them.
Okay, that's yeah, we're stuck in Ohio that way.
Yeah. By the way, if I was going to be a Christian, I want to go to church on Sunday. That's the heathen's day of worship.
Yeah, where did they get this idea?
What that Sunday's the Christian day of worship?
Yeah, where do they?
I don't know where people get that idea that that's a Christian day. There's nothing in the Bible that says that.
Nope.
It's all the
Nope.
heathens that worship on that.
What was it? College of Cardinals in Rome, 1400s. That same with Christmas, and same with a lot of these other holidays. They were agreed upon by man, not by Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it say any of these specific dates like we have now. Uh,
I had a debate with this
yeah.
Catholic up in Alaska years ago, and it was pretty And he was convinced that the Sabbath was Sunday. Showed me in his Bible. And then I showed him in the King James Bible where the Catholic Bible had been changed. They changed the Ten Commandments. If you, I don't know if any of you do that, but if you go
Oh
to the
yeah,
Catholic Bible versus the Ten Game, you know the idol part is gone. You know, they made one commandment, two commandments. I mean, I don't remember how it all went. But and also it says remember a day. It doesn't say remember the seventh day to keep it
right,
holy. Okay. It doesn't say to keep remember the first day or a day. It says the seventh day to keep it holy. I mean that's the Sabbath.
right.
Well, anyway, you know, I went over this with him and stuff. And finally, he just didn't know what to say anymore. He went to his Catholic priest, and then the guy came back and told me later. He says, I brought it up to my Catholic priest. My Catholic priest brought it up, admitted to me that it was the Sabbath was changed on the Pope's authority.
Yep.
Nothing other than the Pope's authority was the Sabbath changed from the Bible. And now you think about that, people wonder who the beast is and the mark of the beast and stuff like that. And you go back to what resembles the mark of the beast. The beast is that person who thinks that they can change time. Isn't changing the Sabbath day from Saturday to Sunday, changing time, setting themselves up above the higher than God, the person that wrote the Bible. Now this person, it looks to me like the Pope is the beast. As it appears to me, I can't say that it is, but
Well, let's go back to the so-called, uh structure that was supposed to be the popes in general. Um, One priest had a vision and wrote down all the names and the order that all popes were supposed to be named as they were elected, to lead the Roman Catholic Church, blah, 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 blah. The last one just gave up his position. So this new pope that we have isn't in the list. The
oh,
Roman Catholic Church was supposed to end with this last one that left because he was getting busted for, we'll just say, molestation. So he surrendered his position as Pope and disappeared. This, yeah. So yeah, the whole church structure. Once man got a hold of it, and the College of Cardinals at that time in Rome, when they were all brought together to decide which books of the Bible to include and which ones not to.
yeah.
That in itself should make everybody question.
Well, actually, the King James version isn't that.
But it's still the agreed upon by the Cardinals version. There are other versions, or there are other parts of the Bible they didn't include. They chose not to.
Right, but no, that wasn't just on the Catholics, because King James, the history of the King James was he didn't like what the Catholics was doing, but he wanted an influence on knowledgeable of history of the Bible and stuff like that. And so he brought historians from all faiths together on that to interpret. And even there were people that were even atheists that didn't even believe in the Bible
That were involved in that, right?
that involved. You know, he
People
wanted
don't,
to.
they don't
He,
look at the actual history of this. They don't look at what man has done to the Bible.
yeah. Well, the natural history of the Bible, that's the part that is so amazing is who can dispute that it's the most sold book in history by far. You know, nothing even comes close to it. You know, I mean, um, the prophecies that's been held on in there, and they've all come true.
Oh, right. Noodles, look into the Jehovah's Witness. I'm not saying right or wrong, but look into the basic foundation, the beginning of the Jehovah's Witness. That guy was a little fruity. That guy was a little out there. Uh, the basic foundation that was, there's some questionability there. There's some, um, Who are you talking about, hippie chick? You've got somebody there from Cleveland right now that's listening to this madness?
Oh, I got some stories to tell on the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons.
Oh, right, Noodles, right. And you gotta look back at the history, and a lot of people are, uh, and I'm not trying to fault anybody. Don't misunderstand. This is just how everybody was pushed and everybody was led. Um, oh, okay. Um, the history is man got a hold of all of the different parts of the Bible, and they just all of a sudden decided that they were the officials and they were going to dictate what we were allowed to know. Now they still had that in Latin back then. And even in the Latin form, they still eliminated certain things that they just didn't feel fit the narrative to be the Bible. And then along comes Martin Luther, who translates it all into every man's language at the time so that everybody could read the Bible. And that pissed off the church. When you look at the history of the Roman Catholic Church, um, there's some weirdness going on there that you got to wonder. You got to wonder. To all gather in His name, and that's the church, not a building. To idolize and put more into a building and into a structure, and to put man above God, in essence, to put a pope above God that's going to lead the world. Not if you read the Bible correctly. So there's some weirdness there. There's some oddness. Just I have faith. Oh God, I have faith. I live the good Samaritan life. I don't look to brag about it. I don't look to and I caught this what was last night, I think it was. State Farm is now having they're now trying to push this 100 good deeds list with State Farm to lower your rates, to try and force people into doing good deeds and being the good Samaritan, just so they have bragging rights of, I'm on the list. I did something on the list today. I did something for somebody else today. Um, those that seek recognition for doing a good deed are not good Samaritans. The good Samaritan is not looking for recognition for what he has done for people. Uh,
Yeah, the disciples never celebrated his resurrection either.
oh, absolutely, Noodles. Oh no, Junkyard. No, 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 no. We're not opening church. No, no, no. Oh my God. What would this be? The Sunday morning with the hippies. Here we go. Somebody get a bowl. Pass it around. Oh my God. See, this is why these kind of streams don't stay up very long. Oh my God. I let them go anywhere. I don't care. But at the same time, ooh, boy, do we get in trouble in some of these.
Oh yeah, but here I'm going to get some more trouble too. Hey Tim, yeah, the scriptures does say whosoever believes, but just remember this also. Lucifer also believes. He knows, and he does believe, and he knows what's going to happen to him. So believing is not enough. You have to act upon your belief, but you're not saved by action. But there has to be actions with it.
Right. Follow the parables. Learn from the parables. Don't worry about all the rest of the gobbledygook that may be changed by man. because Latin converted to English loses content because there's some words in Latin that cannot be translated to English. They can give you something close. So when that translation happened, something was lost. And when they come out and the College of Cardinals sat down and said, well, we're going to decide what goes in the Bible. And they eliminated a lot of the stuff that was there. I guess the only ones you could actually look back at and say, hey, maybe these people actually have it right would be the Jewish faith. They did not allow the College of Cardinals to dictate what was in the Bible. So there's some differences there that need to be looked at and need to be considered when you consider your own personal faith. But to have faith in man, oh my God, I know I'm twisted. God.
Now we got it. Junkyard needs to change his name to Doubting Thomas. Is anymore? I don't believe anything unless I see it. Remember Doubting Thomas, who would not believe that Jesus had risen until he put his hands in and felt the nail holes and.
All right.
Now I know what Junkyard was meaning. He wasn't meaning that he was a doubter,
Right, but I mean, if you're going to have an open discussion of faith, you have to look at all aspects of it.
Yeah.
To if you were to actually sit down, and I tried doing it one day, and my mind just got so lost in it. If you were to sit down and look at when all the different faiths appeared around the world in a chronological order, they all kind of appeared at the same time across the entire planet, whether it be the Indians or over in Rome or in Egypt or wherever you look. China, Japan, all of them seem to have come to light roughly within the same 100 years. Now, was that one man traveling the planet? And if so, how did he travel the entire planet when everybody kind of describes the same person as the beginning of that faith? And if you look at the basic structures of all faiths, it's man that has perverted the original message.
Yep. Well, I don't even think talking about the translation from Latin to English, stuff how it, a lot of stuff gets lost in translation. I would even take it one step further. Even if you use the same translation, I think so much of the message is in the way that it's expressed, the way it's told.
Right.
And we know the story of telling the story. You tell me, whisper one thing in my ear, I whisper it to the next guy. By the time he gets all the way around, it's completely different, and we're all speaking the same language. So a lot of it is how you tell the story or what you're saying, and
right.
I think
It's all in its interpretation.
That way too.
That's like if you go to a Bible college today, the government is involved in weird ways, talking to these ministers that are graduating college, and they're given some basic guidelines to receive a quiet government paycheck and be tax exempt as long as they follow certain guidelines. There's some weirdness going on there that we're looking at, that some people don't even know because they don't really look at what's going on. There's some misguiding lights here that you take your faith from your understanding of the Bible, and that's faith. That's your understanding. That's to go by what a person, a man, an individual tells you, and to walk away saying that that's what he said and that's gospel. No, it's your interpretation of the Bible. It's your interpretation of the different parables, not what somebody tells you. That's why they were so pissed off at Martin Luther for translating the Bible into common language, because it took away the high and mightiness of an individual or the priest at the time, the individual leading that particular church. You know, and
Well,
I fall back and say the same thing now. You know, with the lack of the Hippocratic oath now given to doctors, that it is gone. They took it away in the 70s, and to put a doctor on such a high pedestal that has no Hippocratic oath. You know, his oath now is basically to his bank account. He's not really concerned about your health. Don't give them, you know, just because they're in a white coat with a medical degree doesn't mean they know everything there is to know about everything there is to know when it comes to your health. They're missing a whole lot of information, and they're not allowed to know it. Just like cancer. Go back and look. Nobel Prize. Look at the very first one, 1953. Two scientists were given the Nobel Peace Prize for discovering how to give people cancer and then how to cure it. There's a Nobel Peace Prize for it in 1953. So why here we are, 2019, and we're still looking for the cure to cancer? And they knew in 53.
Yeah,
It's about
right there for you.
It's all about the money, and it's scary.
Check out Noodle's comment to you.
Oh, which one? Let's go back.
No, at the bottom. His last comment.
Last comment. Oh, hey, look, I give you all the supporting information. Not only have I done all of this myself from my book, okay, so that I have actually experienced all of it myself and gone through all the different aspects of it. I give you all the supporting structure so that you can go look it up yourself. And it comes from many, many, many sources of independent testers. You know, and it's just a matter of, this is information we could lose if it's not written down. That was the point of writing the book, was to make it as simple as possible and not lose the information that was attempted to be passed down. They tried to pass it down. The Indians tried to pass it down. The settlers had the information. And over time, over the past 200 plus years, the information's been lost. We just need to put it all back. And you'll get abundance out of your yard and out of your garden that you can't believe. Absolutely, Junkyard. Well, see, and that becomes another part of the discussion. Would God, and I'll bounce this off you, Grizz, would God allow the faith in him and the faith in his son to be perverted by man so delusionally that we lost the original message, even in the translations of the Bible?
My answer.
You buffered out.
My answer is no.
Right. The basic principles are there. If you have faith that there is an ultimate being that is the father of creation, if that's how you want to define it, the father of everything, that's all he asks. Faith in him, faith in his son that delivered a message. That if you follow the guidelines of the message, just the overall guidelines, not the specific structure of what a man written, changed, defined. I mean, come on. We've all seen how Wikipedia can easily be changed by anybody to have any definition out there. you know, what was it? The gay 90 or the gay 40s or something like that, gay 50s, and what gay means today, two totally different definitions. So to believe in the word of man over the ideology of God, I don't think that God would have allowed the perversion of his message so far gone that we would be completely off track. I think the basic guidelines are there, but to follow the Bible in all of its aspects, 100%, yeah, I got to question some things because man was involved.
Well, the reason why I said no is I believe that if there is truly an all-seeing God on out there, all-powerful God, then that God is powerful enough to keep a book 100% right. The true message is still available to all.
Right.
And we all know that there are copies of that book that have been polluted. People, the devil is working against that book, trying to discredit it. But but God made a copy of that book, and he's protecting that book for all of us to see, and it's still all available to us all. And ain't nobody can take that book away until God says, yeah, you can take that book away.
I just think it's fascinating that all of these different faiths, all of them, all lead back to the same basic message: a faith in a singular being as being the father of all creation, a one all powerful being. It doesn't matter what faith you look at, doesn't matter how far back you go, they all have the basic same message. And it doesn't matter how you look at it. In its foundation, that's the original message, that there is an all-knowing, all-seeing, singular being out there somewhere.
And they all, every single one of them, all go back to the flood, the Great Flood, too.
Yeah, that to me
There's
that's
some,
weird because that's just an earmark of they're all basically coming from the same foundation.
yep.
Yet you put all of these, we'll call them scholars, you put all of these scholars together from the individual faiths, and they all want to sit and argue and argue and argue their message, their message, their message, but they all have the flood
Yeah.
in their stories. And everything started from there. They all have that in their history. So, yeah, there's more to this. I think man just perverts it in his own way for his own desires. Look at the Romans, or look at the Holy Roman Catholic Church. I mean, come on, talk about perversion. Jeez, I mean, they're ridiculed in their history. You can buy somebody out of hell that has already passed away. What? No, but to raise money, the Roman Catholic Church did that, and people paid into that. They followed that faith that blindly, that they believed they could pay off the sins of somebody who had already died in sin. What?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's just one example of many that you should question the Romans, question the Roman Catholic faith.
Hey, Tim, I got a video on that. I gotta get it converted over to DVD or format. And the guy that made the video actually has a YouTube channel. Now he's deceased. His wife is running the channel. I've been trying to get a message to her that I have a copy, because I think they lost a copy of that tape, and I have a copy of that tape where they found Noah's Ark. I had the video. I've seen it. And he's a very much detailed of Noah's Ark, and it's not on Mount Ararat. The Bible does not say it's on Mount Ararat. It says it's in the mountains of Ararat, which is the
And
out
lower,
around it.
he's also the same guy that knows the location or knew the location, found the location of not only the place where the cross was that Jesus was on, but also found, oh shoot, oh, I can't remember the name of it now. It was just on the tip of my tongue too. Yeah, that guy found a whole lot of biblical stuff.
Yeah, where the went down to where the Ark of the Covenant was below.
That's it, Ark of the Covenant. Same guy.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah,
By the way, my brother went to high school with that guy.
you know, a lot of people want to sit back and go, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. How could Ron have found all of this stuff? Da 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 da. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. It's his faith. It's his faith. The reason they can't bring the Ark of the Covenant out of where it is in hiding is because no man is pure enough and has enough faith. The people that have gone in to try to get it have died. So they've sealed, in a sense, they've sealed it up. You can't get access to it. One day it'll rise. One day it'll rise. And I have theories in that aspect. I'm waiting to see it happen myself. You know, they call it the seed of God. There's a reason. All of the versions of the Ark of the Covenant that we all see, even when there was a scientific test done, they were going to recreate, all the funding was there. They were going to recreate the Ark of the Covenant per the Bible, very specifically, down to the inch, as to how this full thing was made. And priests from Rome came and stepped in and said, no, you're not allowed to do this because you're going to reveal something that we don't want revealed. So the one that you actually see the so-called test on to see if it could generate energy and generate power and generate free energy, that's a doctored version. You're not allowed to see what the actual Ark of the Covenant looks like. That has been hidden. You're not allowed to see it. Come on, Jason. Yeah, that was that scientist up there in Canada they keep screwing with. He come out and put out a video talking about that. And he's a self-taught electrical engineer, and he's figured out how to break gravity using vibration. There's some really neat stuff that's coming to light that we're not allowed to know about. It's really neat stuff.
Yep.
Pyro.
I think Noodles. I think Noodles is, that it was actually a pull and not a cross.
Oh, he's right. He's right. It well, okay. They want to they feel that it is necessary to give us a structure, something of idolization, and they say it's the cross. What he was, they nail him to a specific cross member, put the cross member up on the pole that's already in its foundation. So in a sense, yes, you're correct. He wasn't crucified on a cross. Oh God, yeah, dude. The stuff from Tesla alone could have changed the world. and they're trying to rediscover this stuff. And even the blueprints that they're supposedly releasing with the Freedom of Information Act is edited. It's edited. I mean, childish drawings with huge sections missing are what's being released to the public. And there's a whole lot going on here that really needs to be questioned. I'm just waiting for the reveal, to even insinuate that, hey, the reason that the Japanese rovers no longer broadcast from the moon is because there's stuff going on the moon you're not allowed to know about. That satellite is sitting up there and we're probably on the moon. You're just not allowed to know.
Well,
To say on the moon is probably incorrect. More like in the moon would be more the correct picture.
Trump just made a comment the other day saying that they were going to launch for their trip into Mars and further into space, and that it's going to be launched from the moon. So I wouldn't doubt if we have something happening on the moon right now, developing a space station where
I think it's already there.
To go further on out.
I think it's already there. It's amazing that they can go to the backside of the moon, floating out there in space, taking pictures of it, and no pictures are allowed to be shown of the dark side of the moon. Why?
Yeah.
Why aren't you allowed to know what's on the dark side of the moon? Those pictures were taken. Those pictures were developed. There's stuff there, but the only part of the moon you're allowed to see is what faces the planet. Seems a little odd, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just like the way they want to theorize how the moon developed. It slammed into the Earth and then backed away from the Earth and is now in perpetual orbit, always facing the same side, is always facing the planet all the time. Really think about that. Where's the crater from the moon's asteroid hitting the planet? And don't tell me it's in an ocean. No. 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 Too much doesn't make sense. Too much doesn't add up. Hey, Susan Lee, good morning. Wow, we're getting everybody in here today.
Morning, Susan.
Oh, right, Noodles. I mean, come on. They have the space station up there. To believe that they only have cameras on the space station that only face the Earth and only reveal certain things about the Earth. No, they've got cameras all the way around it. All the way around it, watching everything. Trust me. But you're only allowed to see one aspect. So there's something wrong there too. So to believe that, there isn't more going on, that you're not, something don't make sense. What was that one? What was that last one? It was like the last shuttle mission they had out there. There was some weird broadcast that came from the shuttle, and then they turned off the camera in the bay on something they were working on because a picture had revealed a much, much taller being than went up in the shuttle, actually in the bay, helping the astronauts fix whatever it was they were attempting to fix before they released it out of the bay. Where did that really, really tall being come from that was almost twice the size of every other astronaut standing in the shuttle bay before the camera got turned off? Or I'm sorry, broke, as they say. So yeah, there's more going on out there than we're being told. There's way too much. Doesn't make sense. I just love the idea that, we are sitting in a singular galaxy within the Milky Way galaxy amongst hundreds of other galaxies throughout the entire everything that is space, and that planet Earth is singular all by itself. It's so unique, and there's nobody else out there. That man is so stuck on himself with all his selfie sticks and taking all of his pictures and everything else, that there isn't any possibility that there could be any other life forms anywhere else in billions and billions and billions of galaxies. Right. Okay.
If there is other life forms on out there, I would say that those life forms are creations of, by God too. They're God's children.
Oh,
That's,
absolutely. Absolutely. We're just the weird freaks in the petri dish that they're all watching from the moon. Let's see how weird we can make these people. Enjoy this science project. So yeah, you think I got enough eggshells to up my calcium?
I think you got enough for starters.
Yeah, it's a good start, right? Oh God. Yeah, heck, if I could get non-pasteurized milk and non-pasteurized eggs, man.
Oh man,
so much healthier. Oh, right, Tim. The world's flat. Absolutely, 100%. Sure, it is. That's why everything else out there in our own galaxy, right here, is round. But yeah, we're flat Earth. Yep. 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 I love that theory. That's a fun one. I mean, there's some weird aspects of some things that are going on. There's some places out in the oceans that we're not allowed to fly over, blah, blah, blah. So they have to divert, have pilots divert certain areas because there's things going on we're not allowed to see, blah, blah, blah. And the simple way to prove that is just go look at Google Earth. There's things blanked out you're not allowed to see. Things that are colored over, things that, okay.
I think we ran Mama Rend off with talking on this.
Probably. I don't think she's into church.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's a cool gal though. But I think we should have done like Tim said. Hey, if we really want to complete it, shall we start talking about politics too?
Oh my God, yeah, dude, we could go everywhere with that. Oh, that's a couple of years worth of eggs. Don't misunderstand, guys. That's a couple of years worth of eggs. 78 dozen eggs just to amp up my soil and to give me a heavier calcium base for all my plantings. Oh, Renda started her own stream. Oh, that don't shock me. And that's okay. I mean,
yeah.
Is she a paid for channel?
I don't know if she's monetized or not.
I don't think she's monetized. If a monetized channel wants to go on and we're holding a bunch of your people, just say something. I'll shut down. I got no problem with that.
Nah, there's room for everybody. Everybody can go wherever they want. It's not that's the cool thing about. I used to worry about, well, am I going to live stream when somebody else or somebody who started live streaming when I was, and you know what, you can't worry about that because if you worry about other people wanting to live stream during your time slot, then nobody's going to get to live stream. Only a select few, and YouTube isn't for a select few; it's for everybody. So,
all right, and everybody.
And we all
actually chooses their own content. I agree. I get that.
And the reality of it is, we all have our own following of people, and a number of the people are intermingled together. But on the same token, we each one have a responsibility to the rest of our followers that aren't subscribed to the others for whatever reason. And hey, you know what?
Come here, they drink the Kool-Aid. So
there you go. But yeah, it's like there's people that you got subscribed to you that aren't subscribed to me, which is it's fine. And if we're both live streaming at the same time, it doesn't matter. You need to take care of your following too, regardless whether I'm up or not. And
Right.
it's say that we can't promote each other too,
Right.
But I have no problem with people live streaming together at the same. I mean, doing it at the same time. I don't think that's a hindrance to anybody. I think in the long run, it actually helps the channels grow.
Oh, absolutely. And supporting each other is just another aspect of that. You
Yeah.
know, I just not being a monetized channel, if I don't actually have a specific message to talk about, like the photo mediation one I was talking about earlier. Um, there was nobody streaming this morning, so I turned on just to hang out with everybody because we all, I believe we all come on looking for something to do, looking for some place to go hang out, to run into all of our friends. And if nobody's up, then everybody's standing around going, "What do we do now?" I just, that's when I'll fire up and just do a BS stream for no reason.
Yeah. By the way, Tim, one or two things: either your eggs were pasteurized, because everybody knows that pasteurized eggs won't sprout, or you didn't when you plant the eggs. You got to plant them pointy side up. If you don't plant pointy side up, then you won't grow an eggplant. And by the way, you won't. It doesn't grow a chicken. You plant the egg, you plant that seed, and you grow an eggplant, and then the eggplant grows out off chickens.
Right. Well, Tim's never read a book, so he wouldn't know that that's the way it actually works.
Yeah, Tim, read the book.
Dude, yeah. Read a book sometime, Tim. Oh. So yeah, those of you that missed it, if you're not following, if you want a free book, there's a second contest on Jerry's woodworking that a lot of you probably missed. It's hidden in a video that just released. Hint, hint, hint. So there's another free Green Wizards book in his contests for a second runner-up.
I just got a package from him a day before yesterday.
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
I haven't opened it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's a ferro rod.
Oh sweet.
Because I told him I wanted to buy one from him. He said, "I'll just send it to you. You can have it."
Oh cool.
He didn't turn the handle. It's just the rod itself. Because
Right.
that's all I asked for was just the rod. I can make my own handle. And so, yeah, he sent me a rod.
Dude, he's good people. Him and his wife are really good people.
I told him I was going to render down some of this pitch that I have here and send him a bunch of that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I put a call out for more of that fat wood. I tried striking the fat wood that he gave me, and it didn't light.
Well,
when I took flame to it, it lit real quick.
Yeah.
But whether the striking rod is still too new, I don't
no,
have enough surface. I'm not getting enough spark. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, the misconception is that you strike wood, strike it to wood, fat wood, pitch, and it's going to no. You need something. The striking rod needs something that is low resistance to the heat, something that will really pop. That get that flash burn.
Right.
And then you take that to get your pitch wood. Once you get the pitch wood burning, it's a lot harder to get out. Then you get your fire going on top of that. People don't talk about that. They're using to burn that pitch wood. First of all, you might be able to do it if you take that pitch wood and you carve off little shavings. Do a bunch of little shavings and then run the spark into the pitch wood shavings.
Right. Well, that's what I did. I shaved down that. He sent me a piece of fat wood along with the strike rod. Man, this thing smells great. And it just it wouldn't take it. As much as I struck to it, it wouldn't take, whether the conditions were wrong or whatever. But being a first try with it, I just need more fat wood so I can figure out what it is I'm doing wrong. Because it was all shaving.
Make some char cloth.
Yeah, I thought about doing that too. I'm gonna mess with it. I got a long winter ahead of me doing nothing, waiting for snow. I got plenty of time to do that stuff. Oh, I did all that, Noodles. I did all that. I followed all the different steps from all the different fire strikes, and yeah, it just takes a little bit. Good morning,
And,
Ann.
and the next question is, what's the moisture content to it? Has it gotten moisture to it? I mean, does it need to be dried more?
It's got just a little bit of moisture to it, but that's that smell. That's that. Yeah, it's just the fatwood smell. That I can't even think of the name of the chemical that you smell, but it smells like fresh pine. Uh, so it should have struck up. It should have been, because I barely touched it with fire, and it all ignited right now, really fast. And it could just be my technique. I could be way off. This is the first time I've played with that striker rod, so I could just be way off.
Fatwood will burn noodles. It will burn, but it takes more. When it's wet, but it takes more heat to get it to burn.
Well, now, JCT, if you can plant year round, you need to run that test for Tim there. Plant an egg, pointy side up, and wait for the eggplant to show up so that you can show it to Tim, because he got all upset when he planted his eggs in the garden. The chickens didn't come up, and he doesn't understand that the chickens come from the egg plants, not from eggs. So he's got it all backwards because he won't read a book. She's sitting there scratching her head going, "What's wrong with these two?"
He ain't lying.
She is sitting there right now going, "What are these people smoking? I don't want to be on this channel. These people are crazy." It's too early for them to be drinking mountain water. What the hell did I get into?
Yeah.
I don't want to be hanging around with crazy people. Oh, read a book, Tim. God forbid. All right, I'm gonna step away and grab some more coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think this cup's too small. I need to get one of them other cups. One of your cups. Maybe it's a little bit bigger. I have to order one. I'll be back. Stream's yours.
Okay. Yeah, actually, no, actually, the chickens do come from the eggs there, Tim, but actually, here's the real way that it's supposed to go. If you want to get more eggs so you can raise more chickens, you want to plant the eggs and grow eggplants to grow more eggs. And those eggs, you take them off, and you can plant them and grow more eggplant to get more eggs, or you can hatch them to get chickens. Can you get an audio book? Well, this is an audio book. We're telling you how to do it. It's kind of like, there's an art to it, though, to plant the eggs. It's just kind of like when you're planting macaroni. People get them, they stick the macaroni in up and down, they stick it in upside down. When you're planting macaroni, you got to plant it like it's a boat. You put a little trench in the dirt about an inch deep, and you got to put those macaronis in like a boat down in there, and then they'll sprout up at both ends. And if you're planting spaghetti, you got to plant those standing straight up and down. And you can't break them off too short. The spaghetti has to be broken in pieces at least. They got to be at least an inch long.
Yeah, but per the Italians, if you don't plant the spaghetti strand correctly, you won't get the spaghetti tree. So you got to be careful that you actually put the strand in deep enough and straight enough up and down, or the tree won't bloom, and you won't get
Yeah,
your
otherwise
spaghetti
they'll
tree.
just turn into a bush. And then you know, if you don't get it seed up and down, it turns into a bush, and then it looks like that, ramen noodles. That's what they get ramen noodles from. Is spaghetti that's planted incorrectly.
Right, because it's like a plasticized. It doesn't even taste right.
Yeah.
God, what did I walk into? No, there's no audiobook, Tim. Everybody keeps asking me that. There is no audiobook. The book's not big enough for audio. The cost that it would cost me to produce that and to put that out and to have the thing edited correctly and get rid of this, that, and the other, and make sure that no, it's cost prohibitive. It's the book's not big enough to make it worth it. Uh-oh, what did you say about Rick? Oh, he missed that noodles. He left. He went back in the house. He probably went to get coffee.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, what did you
Yeah,
say
I
about
am.
Rick? You getting yourself in trouble again?
Uh-oh. I got to read the comment. I was moving back in the house here.
Uh-oh.
Chris, I wanted to tell you, I heard what you said about Rick the other night. You're a guy and a friend of Rick. I hope everyone here knows that. You know what? I got a reputation to uphold, Noodles. So I only said that about Rick because I thought I was lying, and then I come to find out I was telling the truth.
Hey, good morning, Kath. Uh-oh, Kathleen wants eaten. Kathleen, don't do that when Alf and Grizz are around because they eat cats.
Good morning, cat. Meow. Kitty,
Unless,
kitty, kitty.
yeah, unless you want to be eaten. God, is that too early for this kind of stream? Holy cow. Oh God, what a morning. Well, I had only come on to talk about eggshells, but I can't believe we've got this many people in here this morning. I may not put this thing away in private.
Yeah, keep it up and going. Add it to a separate playlist. You can also download it and cut that part out about the eggshells, and then leave that separate.
Oh, I was just showing it. That's not a because so many people, it's a show me thing now. It's not what you say. They want to actually see proof. A lot of people didn't believe that, my test bed, what have you, until I actually brought the radishes in and showed the size of my radishes to go, oh my God, what the, oh, okay. So apparently you do have something going on there.
Yeah, those are.
I'm sorry, you buffered?
Those are turnip seeds. You know it.
Oh, those aren't turnips. Those are radishes, buddy. That's just the weirdness that is good soil conditions. My gigantic garlics that you can find on Facebook. I didn't show any this year, but my gigantic garlics, I mean, phenomenal. And it's just because of aerated soil. That's the misunderstanding. Instead of the plant having to fight to grow, the soil is so well aerated that everything can expand to its actual size and be the giant elephant garlics or this, that, or the other, and go to its full potential when allowed to. When you're fighting bad soil conditions, of course, you're going to get faulty soil conditions. It's not going to be as great. Oh, what? Women were talking bad about Rick? Get out of here. The women love Rick. He would never say anything bad about the women. Well, there's a couple of. Okay, I'll stop. Yeah, he does seem to bring them out of the woodwork, doesn't he?
Speaking on what Noodles is talking about there, all I got to say on that there is I tried to hold judgment. I mean, I was being judgmental in my mind when all that was going on down, but I'm not going to act on a whim of what I hear and read right at that time. I mean, when things are going on down, our brain is being flooded with oh, what's that called? Uh, anyway, it makes us have bad judgment and perceive things the wrong way. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why I don't
especially
like to pass judgment when I see something happening at the time, even though it appears to be the way I see it. Then you go back and watch it, reread it, and you use your brain the second time watching it, and things always come out completely different than what you first perceived. So I was just trying to get people not to pass judgment.
oh, right, that video. Right, 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 right.
Yeah, don't pass judgment on what you initially first see.
Oh, that's why I always go back and listen to my own streams because sometimes I deliver a message. I'm thinking I'm delivering it a certain way, and then I hear it, and it's like, okay, I did that wrong.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's adrenaline that causes the misjudgment. I think it's like a lack of sleep, almost like a toxic something or other that there's a chemical. He's right. There's a chemical that's released, and your judgment becomes faulty. What the hell's the name of that chemical?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'll be 3 or 4 hours, and the chemical name will pop into my head. I hate when that happens.
Well, I why Jasmine was upset and stuff. And there's a lot behind the scenes that we don't know about different stuff. So I can see why different people, not just her, other people too. I can see why people were jumping to conclusions. Okay, I'm just saying that um, a person should try not to jump to conclusions, especially the closer a person is to the situation.
Oh, right.
You know, the more they shouldn't. But you know what? A lot of that comes with age too, because you know what, 20, 30 years ago, I jumped to conclusions a whole lot quicker than I do now.
Well, yeah. As you get older and wiser, your judgment on things, you're tempered with patience, and the true information comes out after the fact.
Yeah.
When you come at it with a little bit of patience, and take in all sides of a bit of information, then you see the true story. So just take it at face value right off the bat. I mean, that's what half our country's in trouble for as it is. Look at the all of the different things that have been taking place across the country. Uh, like the Antifa movement. There's a weird bunch. These people are reactionists. They don't know temperance yet. They don't wait long enough to understand there's more than one side to a story.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that hit home with me was a story that I read written by a defense lawyer. He was asked why did he defend the guilty? And he told this story. There was this young couple, a brother and a sister, that had gone to a party. They had both got drunk.
Whoops.
They were driving home. They got in a wreck, and the sister died. And they were prosecuting the brother for murder. And he says he didn't do it, and he was pleading non guilty, and this attorney defended him. Well, it came on out at the scene of this crime, everybody, there's people that witnessed it, and the people that were there all said, to report to the police that he got out of the driver's side of the vehicle. So they're going by, he's driving, he got out of the driver's side of the vehicle. The police are going by that. He got out of the driver's side of the vehicle. They didn't do any further investigation or anything else. They're taking the eyewitness reports of those people that seen the crash happen, and they've seen him get out of the driver's side of the vehicle. So then they go to court, and it comes to find out they bring the one witness on, and they says, okay, what side of the car did they get out of? Got out on the if you're facing the car, they got out on the right side of the car. And it says, were the wheels facing up or down? And the witness says the wheels were facing on up.
Whoops.
And then he says, well, does that mean to tell you that he got out of the passenger side of the car and the car's upside down?
Whoops.
To all appearance at that time, with everything that was going through their mind, he got out of the driver's side. Everything was happening too fast and stuff, and judgment was passed. So here they were going to hang an innocent man. He wasn't driving. It was the sister that was driving.
Right. Yep. You got to have all sides of the story before you can pass judgment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And these were people that were on the scene, that seen it when it happened.
Yep. You're right, Kathleen. It's wisdom. It comes with age, That's like a good wine. It's grape juice until it's good. It takes time. And we've lost everybody.
Look that way.
Yeah, I don't think they like the I don't think they like the idea of the only way to get really good noodles is to plant them and wait for the noodle tree to grow.
So, how many's in the room to the show?
6 from 12 down to 6.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I've been thinking about pickling a bunch of these habanero peppers that I have. I don't know whether to dehydrate them.
Either way, they're still going to maintain the capsaicin. One will just get stronger. That's what's neat about capsaicin. It actually gets stronger over time.
Well, I prefer them being fresh. I love the fresh habaneros. Those taste, they're sweet tasting. I'm not too worried about the how hot they are or anything like that. I just love the flavor of them. But I don't know which way I'm going to be able to get the best flavor out of it, whether I can them or whether I just dehydrate.
Tim, those centerfold books will make you go blind. Don't look at the pictures. Read the stories. You stare at that 67 GTO and dream about it long enough, you'll go blind. Stop looking at the centerfold pictures.
What GTO? I'm not seeing no GTO. What GTO?
Yeah.
Oh, that car's a GTO. I wasn't looking at the car.
Yeah. Stop looking at the centerfolds, Tim. We had a bad night. A troll got crazy and spent, well, heck, it was 12 hours in a sense, if you think about it, because you think about the way it went down. Because they swatted Rick, and then they swatted somebody else, and then they swatted Steve hours and hours later from the same person making the same phone calls. And a lot of the stuff that went down that got recorded, JC, made things look really, 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 really odd because everybody didn't have all the details. And that's where, Grizz is saying, hey, wait, don't just jump and react at what you're seeing. You don't know the whole story. Wait until the whole story comes out before you pass judgment here. These trolls are just getting out of control. That's the issue. Well, yeah, they were just reacting, Noodles. They were reacting in a moment. It's like a police officer will chase a car into a neighborhood, and then the entire neighborhood comes pouring out of their houses to get involved because the police officers one connotation, and the driver of the car is another connotation, and everybody's jumping on the police officer and yelling at the police officer, you can't do that, stop, this, that, the other, da 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 da. They don't know where the police officer just chased that guy from and what circumstances were ahead of this. So everybody's jumping to conclusion before knowing the whole story. And this is one of them situations. Everybody's jumping to a conclusion as to what they're seeing without knowing the whole backstory. And Grizz is just saying, wait, stop, everybody slow down, look at this a second time, give it a chance, think this through, come at it with a clear head. Don't pass judgment on what you saw originally because you don't know the whole story.
Well, I think everybody's calmed down over a bit and realized what really happened there, and I don't think anybody's judging Rick anymore over it.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think everybody got it cleared
Noodles,
up.
How do I put this, Noodles? You're coming in and stepping into a hornet's nest, and you're just being you. Don't misunderstand. And we're not saying that that's a good or a bad thing, but you're stepping into somebody else's shoes that has caused a huge federal crime already, and it's getting worse. And you're still just trying to be you, but you walked into a hornet's nest, and you're not understanding that hornet's nest is still not finished. There's a whole federal investigation going on there, and Bobby's still in reaction mode. Bobby's still defending himself, and you just stepped into the wrong place at the wrong time and stepped right into somebody else's shoes and could get swept up into something. And it's extremely aggravating for Bobby, is the way I'm taking it. And he's coming out against you when I think it's the circumstances. You stepped into something without knowing what you stepped into.
Noodles look like me. You get that one weak person there, and you keep on poking and prodding in ways that are minute, but you know that you're bugging. It doesn't bug anybody else, but you know that you're bugging that one individual that you're going out, and that's what you're doing. And I do that all the time. So I know what I'm talking about. You do it, and you do that with Bobby. It doesn't bother anybody else, but I can see you're just poking and prodding with these little tiny pokes.
Yeah.
You're agitizing it on. You're not making it better. You try to act like, oh, I'm trying to be a friend. I'm trying to, but I do that. I know the game you're playing, Noodles. I play that game many a time, and I like that game, by the way. But
right, well, but the whole thing is, it's gone to the level of we've now got police and federal investigators involved in this situation, so it's so much worse. And it's like a hunter following another hunter that pissed off the bear, and the second hunter doesn't know that the bear's already pissed, and then he steps into the other hunter's shoes, and that other hunter's already run away because he realized he pissed the bear off. That's kind of what you stepped into. The bear's already pissed. You didn't know it when you stepped in. Oops. So back off and give it time. He'll give you a chance. He's a great guy, but you walked in when the bear's already pissed and the other hunter has already tried to run away. Yeah, don't do that.
Well, the thing is, Noodles, there's a deal about poking and prodding, but then there's another deal of reactionary. Now you're getting reactionary reactions from him, and then you're giving reactionary reactions back, and that's the part where you and I differ.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
just
I'll be
gotta let this one
reactionary,
blow
but
over.
I try to not be reactionary.
I mean, it's great to give a channel something to do. Totally agree. You know, you go in there and the host is dying, and there's not a whole lot going on, and you mess with the host a little bit and give him another direction to head, and it kind of livens up a channel and what have you. Like our channel is now dead. Um, because nobody really wants to hear this. They've heard this too much, but um, yeah, Bobby's not the one to be poking and prodding right now because of the other circumstances that are going on. He's a great guy. Give him a chance. He's just, there's a whole other scenario there that's going on that you walked into that you don't walk into. Just don't take it from a bunch of old guys that have been around watching this for years. Don't walk into this one, Noodles. Let it be. Just let it be. Go pick on somebody else. Because it's a bad scenario, and you could get swept up in this at the same time. That's the other issue. He could be trying to push you away to keep you from getting swept up in this mess. Because when they finally do go after these individuals, it's going to be a broad net broadcast to pick up everybody. And you could have walked into something already and be in trouble. Um, and it's not your fault. You had nothing to do with it, but you're going to get picked up in this by mistake.
Well,
So
that's
you're better off to just back away from that one and leave it be because there's a huge net getting ready to drop over this country over this. It's bad.
you know. I was accused of trolling as a channel, so I just stay away. I believe in enough time, the truth always comes out. And Tim, I totally relate to that. I was in a live stream the other day, or at a live stream the other day, and I have my regular humor, and I was told I was a troll, and they bounced me on out. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'll just stay away. I mean, that's the truth will come out on that channel. The
Right.
people find out, but I don't have to go back and tell these people. They'll find out in their own time. I already plant the seed. They designate me as a troll, so I leave, and it's all on them. And they can believe what they want to do. They can do what they want to do. I don't care what they do. I just planted a seed, and maybe somebody will say, "Yeah, maybe that guy's right. Maybe he's not such a bad guy."
Right. Well, see, that's the other side of the same coin. You got to remember a lot of these channels are reaction channels. They thrive on that. They actually go out and look for people to bring into their net of drama, 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 because that's what drives their channel. It keeps people entertained. Right or wrong doesn't matter. It's the idea of the drama involved keeps everybody entertained. So they push the drama for all it's worth. And everything is drama. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh my God, I got a paper cut today. All the drama, all the drama.
Okay, now your last comment. I'm not a bully. He was just a jerk to me. That keyword is to me. It's all about how you feel.
Right.
Now you're going based on how he treated you and how you feel. You're not putting yourself in his shoes, how he feels, what he's been through, and that's the whole problem with the world today. It's everybody. It's always got to be about me, how I feel right now. How did this person treat me? What did they do? And not looking at it from another perspective side. What really happened?
Yeah.
Forget about. It's not about you, Noodles, and it's not really
Uh,
about him. It's about YouTube. It's about people. Groups of people. It's never about me.
yeah. You stepped into somebody else's shoes without knowing what those shoes had just been in. Um, yeah. You just right place, wrong time, buddy. That's all.
Yeah.
And you want to take it personal, and it's not personal. There's another event going on ahead of you that's got him this way right now. So just walk away. Just walk away. He'll come back around.
Kid, what's the cure for yet? I like it, Kathleen.
Yeah, no kidding. If you can find a cure for stupidity, oh my God. Every school child needs it, whatever it is. There you go. There's your hunt, Tim. Uh how to put common sense back into a non-common core school.
Yeah, right. Good luck with that, Ron.
Yeah, right. There's no vegetable you can eat that's going to fix that. Oh well. Looks like this stream is over. We're down to 4. Might as well turn
Yeah.
this thing off and go away for the day. Go do your hunting, Grizz.
Yep, I need to get out the door.
Alrighty, buddy. Thanks for coming up. We'll talk to you later.
We'll get you later.
Everybody, y'all have a great day. Happy Sunday to you. I appreciate y'all stopping in. I hope y'all had a great time. We will do this again, even though we're going into winter and I am going to disappear for snow plowing. Watch for me to pop up on everybody else's channel, snow plowing, under my other channel name, because I will be popping up those videos and going live while I'm plowing this winter. So y'all have a great day. We appreciate you coming. You know where to find me. I'll be out there in the stream somewhere. See you, everybody.